Good morning.
Good morning.
Google. Now that I've got your attention, let me tell you about Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore, which does, in fact, include Google. Now, be warned, your friends will not be seeing much of you after you pick up this book, or your family, or anyone really. In fact, I recommend that you reserve a 24-hour session for reading this book, because you will not be putting it down. Everyone should read Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. I believe this because A, it's an interesting and creative book that will get you turning pages like there's no tomorrow. B, the book has an amazing plot and storyline. And C, we've just finished our historical writing unit, and while it is debatable as to whether this is a historical fiction or not, Robin Sloane definitely uses many interesting and hilarious craft moves. So let's talk about how interesting and creative this book is. Now, I will admit, looking at the book, it doesn't really seem very interesting. Just a plain white book, like a book about a bookstore with no front cover with explosions on it. Boring. And I will admit, looking at it, I wasn't really hooked either. But once I opened this glorious thing, yeah, I realized this was basically my dream book. Let me just read you the first paragraph. Lost in the shadows of the shelves, I almost fall off the ladder. I'm exactly halfway up. The floor of the bookstore is far below me, the surface of a planet I've left behind. The tops of the shelves loom high above me, and it's dark up there. The books are packed in close, and they don't let any light through. The air might be thinner too. I think I see a bat. I'm holding on for dear life, one hand on the ladder, the other on the lip of the shelf, fingers pressed white. My eyes trace a line above my knuckles, searching the spines. And there, I spot it, the book I'm looking for. But let me back up. Tell me this isn't good writing. Which brings me to my next point. This book has an amazing plot and storyline. Everyone should read Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. Another reason for this is all the cool things that this book explores. It's truly a thing of wonder to see Robin Sloane combine a 500-year-old cult with the biggest computer on Earth, to merge ancient tomes with state-of-the-art ebooks. You will be completely hooked as Clay Jannon, the main character, visits Google, creates a 3D version of the bookstore he works at, uncovers an ancient secret without knowing what he has done, then attempts to rob a 100-pound ancient book written in code, uses the biggest amount of computing power ever amassed to attempt to crack this code before finally figuring out that instead of looking at the big picture, they have to look at the small picture, the very, very small picture. In fact, I'm so confident that this book is 100% great that I'm going to let you guys choose a page. Can I have a volunteer? Teresa. Okay, I'm going to flip through this page and flip through the book and you tell me when to stop, okay? At last, I'm done. I lace my fingers together and bend them backwards, pressing them out into space. I jump up and down, trying to restore my bones and muscles to some semblance of normal hominid configuration. It doesn't work. My knees hurt. My back is cramped. There are jets of pain shooting out of my thumbs, up into my wrist. I hope it isn't permanent. Can you now see just how consistently good this book is? And last, but definitely not least, Robin Sloane has some great craft moves. While this book is fun and entertaining, it's also educational. We've just finished our historical writing unit, and while this book is only loosely historical fiction, it definitely has a lot of great craft moves and hilarious lines that you can integrate into your own writing. Let me show you a couple. So, a recurring theme in this book is how technology is everywhere in our world. So I thought this was an interesting way that he uses it. He has the strongest look on his face, the emotional equivalent of error 404, page not found. Or this one, when Clay is looking for a job. It's a little longer, but I think it's quite funny. I kept at it with the help wanted ads. My standards were sliding swiftly. At first, I insisted I would only work at a company with a mission I believed in. Then I thought maybe it would be fine as long as I was learning something new. After that, I decided it just couldn't be evil. Now I was carefully delineating my personal definition of evil. As you can see from these excerpts, Robin Sloane is a great writer with hilarious craft moves. In conclusion, everyone should read Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore because it's a funny, well-crafted, captivating book with an amazing storyline. To sum up, it's just like a great book. Like, I mean, I'm up here doing this speech for a formative assessment or whatever, but I honestly believe that you should read this book. It's a mystery with the answer staring you in the face the whole entire time. You want to know what I mean? Read the book and find out. Thank you.